today's episode, we are going to introduce someone who has worked very extensively in rural market as well as in international market. In consumer durable industry, he has been very instrumental in bringing some of the new brands in India and currently working on new and innovative assignments. Let me introduce Mr. Vipin Punna. Vipin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Vipin, you have been in the industry for long. You have worked, in many rural to, I believe in international market as well, and you are now into a various, innovative role.
Correct.
But to start with, tell us a little bit about, how has been your journey in consumer durable industry.
Yeah. Thank you, Manzoor. My journey starts in the consumer electronics industry in India in 1990. I joined BPL, worked in various locations, in various positions. I worked in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Bombay, and went back again to Hyderabad, handling the entire state of Andhra Pradesh. Even in Bombay also I handled the entire Maharashtra state for a particular division. And my last assignment was as branch manager of Vijayawada.
Okay.
And then I left. I went off to Singapore.
Coming back to BPL, which are the product line you really closely worked with?
I worked in the color televisions initially for a few years, and then shifted into the audio division, which was a challenge, and we did a fantastic job. And then for the same division I was transferred to Pune, then entire state of Maharashtra.
Wonderful.
And when I shifted to back to AP, that's Hyderabad, BPL had created a new product division called distribution products, where the products, we had 5-6 categories. We had black and white, we had audios, we had gas cables, we had your emergency lanterns. There was couple of other products, so which required focused distribution.
Okay.
Not unlike your color televisions or refrigerators or washing machines, where you could sell it directly to dealers.
True.
But for these products, the company, to get the volume, they said yes, we need a larger dealer base.
True.
So to cover a larger dealer base, the company decided that we will operate it only through distributors for all these products.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, I think AP was the only success story for that particular division.
I know, because we worked together at that time.
I know. So we did a fantastic job.
Great.
And then after that, as the branch manager,
BPL was number one brand
those days. Yes, those days it was number one.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's one particular thing that people have not realized. Even though we were number one, because of the strength of BPL, it was basically because of our strength of our manpower, our quality. First of all, the quality of the product, then the manpower.
Okay.
Today, if you take not only in the companies, BPL was considered as the training ground for the industry.
True.
For manpower. If you take the manpower in the top positions across the consumer electronics sector, you will find a lot of BPL.
Absolutely, that's there across the country.
And one of the hubs of these ex-BPL people is Dubai.
True.
You go, all of them are.
Across.
We know all of them. And all in top positions.
Mm-hmm. So it was which year, Vipin? From you moved to Singapore?
I moved to Singapore in 2000.
Okay.
Okay. Coming back to this one, BPL used to hold in the color television division around 30-32% market share those days.
Okay.
But the important thing is the footfall of a customer coming into the counter used to be around 50, close to 55%, asking for a Vipin product.
Okay. That's an interesting analysis.
But it used to be converted to shop floor.
True.
Because the dealers, for whatever reason, I mean, basically for the profitability or their the push, BPL, even with that kind of this one, we used to hold number one position. So in 2000, I moved off to Singapore. That I slightly over 10 years I worked with BPL, and that's so now, my international this one starts there.
Okay. So how did you? I mean, what are the major changes you found between the Indian market and when you went to Singapore? I mean, Singapore is a much advanced, in terms of course, it's a smaller market, but the business model is totally different from the India, What were your experience and learnings from there?
See, the first and foremost is, of course, Singapore being an export hub, there were a lot of countries even the subcontinent, Africa, parts of Europe before the EU came in. Goods used to be supplied from Singapore by exporters.
So it's a trading hub.
So see, if you take the Asia Pac region, most of the headquarters of all the Korean, Japanese and Korean companies are in Singapore, and from there they handle the entire this one. So, but for these countries, like for example with high trade barriers, or they were afraid to enter directly, they used to take the help of these. There were 4-5 big time distributors.
Okay.
Thing is, all these people are risk takers, which you will not find in an Indian distributor.
Really?
Absolutely not. They lose $100,000, they don't even blink. $100,000 means today's rate is around 50 lakhs. They will not even blink. Maybe that is because, of course, they have deep pockets.
Yeah.
The other thing is the bank finances, interest rates are negligible when you compare it to Indian standards.
I think a lot of products even today, whether you call it the good old days, the grey market or whatever, is scattered through Singapore. I think.
See, in fact, the Indian market. I used to handle the Indian market, and I used to handle Bangladesh. I used to handle Nepal. We used to have customers coming to us from Pakistan also. So, but we've never traveled to Pakistan, but we had customers. And because of the trade barriers, mainly because of the trade barriers, the high taxation, the grey market used to operate.
Okay.
In a huge way. Now I don't think anything. I think even if it comes, it's just a drop in the ocean. But earlier it was very different. And believe me, it used to be encouraged by the multinational.
Okay.
You take whether it's Sony or Panasonic, because they know that it's going to India, because they wanted to capture this market. They know they will not be.
I mean, you mean to say they had a parallel operation? Even though they had their own offices and everything in India, but they continued to do so.
Correct.
I think that percentage has come down drastically over the last.
Drastically, in the sense, I would say the companies themselves, once the duties had come down, they themselves have put restrictions, and they are so if any distributor sells the product into India, and if it is caught, they lose their distribution rights. And that's their bread and butter, so they don't do it.
Right.
Of course, even then through a third party it might be coming through, but like I said, it doesn't make sense to bring in any of these products unless it's really expensive. But even if it is expensive, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Maybe 10-20%. Nobody wants to get their hands on for that market.
So Vipin, when did you came back from Singapore?
I came back end of 2007. Practically, I would as good as 2008.
Okay.
I came back from Singapore. I had a fantastic tenure in Singapore. Worked with 2 companies, very good companies.
Surely.
Quite aggressive. And the second company that I worked for was the largest distribution house for consumer electronics in Singapore. So I came back for very personal reasons, but then that's fine.
We understand. Vipin, as far as we know, you have played a very important role in last few years. Launching a brand called Kenwood Small Appliances business in India.
Yes.
That is what market talks about. Tell us your experience and what the kind of role you played over there.
See, after I came back from Singapore, I tried a lot of things, to do a lot of things. So at that particular point of time, I met up with another old colleague of ours. Maybe I don't know if you know N. Srinivas.
Yes.
He was in the head office in the audio division.
Correct.
So he asked me, what am I doing? I said, I'm a consultant for the Singapore company. And he said, but how much time does it take? I said, maybe 20-30% of my time on a day-to-day basis, sometimes more. I travel to Singapore at least once a month for 1 or 2 days. That's it. If the meeting is being called by the Panasonic, the Sanyware.
I understand.
So then he told me, look, I have a friend of mine. Actually, Srinivas was a part of that company.
Okay.
Or shareholding in that company. So he introduced us. Now it's a very small boutique consulting organization.
Okay.
But extremely well networked. Not only into India. The founder of this was heading the new business development for HCL.
Okay.
Before. And before this avatar came out.
What is his name?
Kishore.
Okay.
Kishore KK.
Yeah.
So he has contacts across the world. Name the country. Whether it's Israel at one end, Australia at the other end, or Japan, US, Europe, he has associates, friends, and associates who keep sending him various companies who are interested in entering the Indian market. So he had this brand called Kenwood.
Okay.
Now for us, those days Kenwood means the cast area.
True.
But then there's an interesting story behind this, the Japanese Kenwood and the UK Kenwood.
Okay.
See, the original Kenwood is the UK one. It was founded by a man called Kenneth Wood in 1947.
Okay.
So Kenneth Wood, short form to Kenwood. That's how the
interesting. I don't think many would be knowing this.
I also didn't know. So when he said Kenwood, I thought it was Japanese. Then he explained to me. And this Kenwood was a Japanese consumer electronics, mainly into car stereos and hi-fi. Those days, high-end audios, hi-fis and stereos, headphone stereos and things like that.
It's a very powerful brand.
Right? Yeah, that's also. So but it was not known outside of Japan.
Okay.
So they wanted to enter the European market, and they were looking for a brand which was known for its quality and a household name. Okay. They took the brand of Kenwood and entered the European market. And it changed its name. Okay. I don't know, maybe there has been some understanding between the Kenwood UK and the Kenwood brand. What that understanding is, I have absolutely no in-depth knowledge, so I would not like to talk about it. And when I saw the product, I was amazed. Its quality.
You are talking about the Kenwood smaller appliances?
Smaller appliances. He had most of the products he had in the office, and when I saw the products, I was like zapped.
So which are the products you all decided to bring it?
We initially brought in more than 100 different products, but around 11-12 categories, segments. The high end is, you call the kitchen machine, which is an amazing product, and to a hand blender. But if you see the hand blender, the job it does is 10 times what any other faster, better blending.
Maybe you can share the pictures to maybe we can show it to the viewers of EFF Times to know what exactly the products are.
And I was involved basically in product selection, pricing, and appointment of distributors.
Great.
And entry into modern retail.
Okay.
Yeah, this was my this one. But of course, I was involved in a lot of other things, like for example, the appointment of the after sales service.
Okay.
If you remember Jeeves,
I know.
Badhu and Alok Sir.
Yeah.
I knew that they were in this, so.
Yeah, for you it was just a cakewalk.
So we got them on as our after sales service provider.
True.
It was a win-win situation for them as well as us, because they got a world-renowned brand, a global leader in small appliances as their customer, which they didn't have at that particular point. Today, it's a different thing altogether. They got a lot of recognition because of it.
Vipin, you worked, on an absolutely different platform, I would say, bringing Kenwood to India, with KK Kishore you're talking about. Do you think, a lot of companies, internationally, they are looking at a different format entering India, vis-a-vis what we see?
See, how we work, from what we understand is, there are, I think we're just the tip of the iceberg as far as the number of companies that enter into India.
Okay.
This is a very, very small part of the entire gamut of consumer durables.
Okay.
There are a lot of companies in niche segments who want to enter India, but they don't know how to. Where we come in is, see, our team just doesn't include operations or sales or after service. We give them legal opinions on everything.
Okay,
everything legal.
So you strategize the whole thing?
Whole thing and present.
And what is the name of the company you guys are
it is called Indian Retail and Distribution Services.
Okay.
Which was, like I said, founded by...
and it is based out of Hyderabad. Okay.
So many of these companies, the way they look at it is, they want to enter India, but they would like to test the waters.
True.
So testing the waters, we help them. So what we do is, we have a contract, and then they say, okay, 3 years extendable on mutual agreement. So we set the platform, everything.
So any new assignment you guys are working on?
Yes, we are working on the Kenwood large appliances.
Okay.
Yeah, basically front loading washing machine, dishwasher.
Okay.
Premium refrigerators.
Okay.
Very, very high end refrigerators.
You believe there is a market for such product in India?
Yes. In fact, I think there's quite a bit of market. Enough to satisfy the needs of that particular country.
So, yeah, it's a big country, and 10%,
15% of the market.
Okay.
We are not looking at the markets which is Samsungs and LGs and catering. We are not in.
And you intend to cater through all the channels? The modern retail or the latest one, the e-commerce. How do you want?
No, with Kenwood, what we did was we went through the offline stores only, but again selective. A product which costs, let's assume a hand blender, which any other hand blender, the maximum price must be around 1,000-1,200 rupees, going down to as low as 800 rupees. Mine was at around 2,500. No,
almost 3 times.
Yeah, double or 3 times. So every store cannot sell it.
True.
Let's say Vijay Sales was our dealer, if I take that. But not all his stores will sell.
I know.
There are some premium stores. Maybe if he has 100 stores, maybe 25 stores will sell.
I understand.
We were happy with that.
Okay. So you were very focused.
Very focused.
I mean,
you might have not seen, you would not have seen even one advertisement on whether hoardings or newspapers. No, we don't believe it. We think that's a waste of money.
Interesting.
We think it's total waste of money. The best way to do is BTL activities, shop floor activities, and plus we had some of the best cookery experts on our panel. There is this MasterChef to India winner, Vipin Punna.
Yeah.
She was on board and she was in love with our products. We have given her the entire range of products. We have around 2 or 3 cookery cookery schools in Bombay. We have sponsored all the products free of cost.
Great.
Not even one single naya paisa we have taken from these cookery schools. Use this. Every day it has to be used, because they'll have so many students coming in, seeing my product, who are looking at, who are really interested in cooking.
I understand.
And those are the people, our target customers. They will not see a ad. We had when Vipin Punna, the Master Sous Chef, this one, we had sponsored all the products for the contestants. They used, all the contestants have used our products, and they were so impressed. A lot of them came and wanted us. We gave them flat 50% off. Simply 50% discount. No question asked. If they were a contestant, even if they have lost in the first round.
Vipin, it is so great to know about you, your experience from the Indian market, all the some of the top cities, from rural to Singapore and back to India. And I think you are doing a very, out of the box stuff, a very innovative, style of marketing. EFF Times wishes all the very best to you. And, we look forward for a lot of inputs from you. And, you are based out of Hyderabad. Before we just move on, just tell me, how does Vipin Punna de-stresses himself?
See, I've been fortunate or blessed to have triplets.
Okay.
3 kids.
Great.
At one time, I had 2 daughters and 1 son.
Great.
Of course, I go back home, listen to them.
How old are they?
They are now 10.
Okay.
But my basic de-stressing, of course, being with them is also a de-stressor.
Sure.
But one of the major de-stressing factors is I'm a voracious reader, right from my childhood. And when I say childhood, I was not interested in school books, comics. Was my favorite.
What do you think, Vipin, the last thing, then EFF Times, an initiative towards consumer durable industry?
Believe me, it's the social media is advanced so much. Today, even a small incident, maybe trivial incident, goes across the social media and it travels throughout the world. I am sure this is a fantastic idea, and believe me, if this sort of an idea was there when I had launched the Kenwood small appliances, I would have been one of the first to use it. Believe me, and it would have been it's a great platform. It's a fantastic platform.
It means a lot. It means a lot for us.
It's not only for the industry people, but consumers also.
True.
Yeah. So,
see, Vipin, we believe there are a lot of heroes, in any business, and there are stories which is told, there are stories which is untold, and it's a small initiative and step. We would like to bring a lot of heroes who have been not covered, and they have played such important roles in our industry. And India is a very big and vast country, and we have people across the level, and
very true, very true. You are very true. Some of the stalwarts of the industry today, nobody knows who they are.
So my request to you would be, anybody you believe, who you believe they are worth and their story needs to be told, please connect to us, and we will look forward meeting you more often with more updates in the future times. Thank you from EFF Times.